When I first started day trading, I was losing every trade. I jumped into a trade, stop loss, hit every single time. I had good psychology, I had good discipline, I had good risk management, but I was lacking one thing, and I realized my strategy just wasn't good enough. And that is when I developed the strategy that I'm going to share with you today that's going to make you at least $500 a day if you put your mind to it, and if you actually apply what I'm going to give you today. And I'm going to share you the secret. Before I do, guys, hit the like, hit that subscribe button, because this is about to be so beneficial for you today. With that being said, guys, see you on the flip side. I'm going to show you all the steps, the 3 steps right here that you're going to need to actually succeed in these markets, as well to determine your bias to enter a trade. Pretty relatively simple. Alrighty, so what we're looking for, we're going to be on the 5-minute for this example. This will work on any time frame, but we're going to mainly look at the time frames that are more easier to identify market structure. So market structure, what we're looking for is just uptrends and downtrends. We're going to look right here. We have an uptrend, right? We could know that price is uptrend because we got a low, we got a high right here, we got a higher low, we got a higher high, a higher low, and so on. As you guys know, in an uptrend, there's going to be highs, higher highs, and higher lows. So what are we looking for? Price, right, kind of use this area as support to lead higher. So if we look here, price will kind of articulate those highs here that kind of lead a little more higher to continue our uptrend, if you see. So what we're going to do is take a trade when price comes back down and hits these highs. When it comes to trading, guys, there's 2 things I like to acknowledge, and price is attracted to fair value gaps. What is a fair value gap? Remember, so it has to do with 3 candles. There's a little gap. So from the high of the first candle here, from the wick, and from the low of the 3rd candle right here, if we're in an uptrend, look at this. Price should reverse back into here to continue, or back into this fair value gap. Okay, so price comes in here, bounces off a little bit there, comes to this one, bounces off there, boom. That's a confluence we could add in our trading. So price comes back down into this fair value gap. Right above this fair value gap is where you have your entry, and then you have your stops maybe at this low here, continuing to this high for 1.6 risk reward. And then look at, boom, instantly. And then what you could do after you hit this high here, the previous high, what were you looking for? Well, you're going to be looking for a reversal later on. But this is when you take a partial. Right here, when price hits that take profit, take a partial. Then you can just trail your stop loss. Okay, guys, so for this example here, what are we looking for this strategy? First of all, for the strategy, we are looking for an uptrend, downtrend. Okay, you're going to ask yourself that question. What is market telling you right here? Uptrend or downtrend? Okay. What else are we looking for? Well, to identify uptrend, you're looking for highs and lows in the market. Price is making higher highs and higher lows. You're looking for an uptrend. Price is making lower lows and lower highs. It's a downtrend. Okay, so we're going to look for a pullback to the previous high. Okay. And then after you do that, what else are you looking for? Well, you're going to look for the pullback into a fair value gap. Pullback has to be in a fair value gap in order for the strategy to give you a high win rate. So pullback into a fair value gap. I'm just going to put FVG. And as you can see, if we go ahead and apply this here, let me change this here. So we had this uptrend, a little uptrend here after that downtrend. Okay, cool. Now we know we're on an uptrend now. From this high, we're going to go ahead and mark this out. Price pulls back. Okay. Do we get a fair value gap? Well, we do have one here. We do have that fair value gap, but we also have this little gap here as well. Anyway, what are we looking here? Well, we had this gap, got filled in, and now we're respecting this reclaimed fair value gap. Okay, price leads higher. That's an entry. Okay, right where this gap was, this could have been an entry right here, right where this gap is. And you can even have this stop at this low here, targeting this high for 1 or 2. Okay, so there's that. Again, price breaks this high. Okay, what are we looking for? Well, we have a fair value gap right here. This is the furthest one away from the uptrend.
price. I want price to come back down into this and jump off of it. Okay, price comes down into this area. Boom. There's our entry right at the peak of this high. There's that. And our stops up here. Boom. Easy, right? And that's when you could instantly trail your stop losses, right? Once it hits this high. So say if it hits, you take your partial, you take half of your position off here. Okay, then we could do stops up here. Just let price do its thing. Boom. Lock in those profits, right? That's what you want to do. So now, let me go ahead and show you a downtrend version of this, guys. Alright, you guys, so as you can see right here, we were in an uptrend, came up, kind of faded out here. We broke structure in the 5-minute, which actually had us having a downtrend. Okay, so what are we looking for now? Well, do we have a actual downtrend? Let's just see. We just want to make sure there's not a break of just this market structure. We want to make sure we have confluence that we know we're actually going to keep going down. So we have this down here. We have this low. Let's see if price breaks that low here, which it does break that low. Now what are we looking for? Well, we want to pull back. Well, we want to pull back to the previous low, but we also want to pull back into a fair value gap. So what are we looking for? Well, we have 1, 2, 3. We're going to look for the low of this first candle now. All right, and highlight that to the third candle's high. Send this out. This is our fair value gap. So I want price to go ahead and test into this fair value gap. Hopefully on next candle. We want a good risk reward. So I'm just going to put it slightly above this fair value gap. Okay, so we want to go ahead and wait for the pullback, which we got the pullback into a fair value gap. Okay, hasn't tested this fair value gap. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. So say if I go ahead, let's sell the market. Okay, price comes down, boom, instantly in 5 minutes. Look at that, TP already. Okay, but once you've done this, look at now all you can do is just trail your stops. Okay, so boom, look at this. Now our stop loss is going to go break even. Our stop's going to go at the top of this high maybe, and then there it is. And just collect, guys, just collect those profits. See, and again, we can do the same thing over and over. So say if you want to get out of this trade, okay, boom, we had this low that got swept, boom, we had this low that got broken. Okay, we are still in a downtrend as we could see. So we want to pull back. We have another fair value gap right here. Boom. Okay, price comes back into that. This is when exactly go ahead and go short. Again, it's just the same thing repeated over and over. And this strategy is going to make you so much money if you just apply this simple. Like, this is so simple. Simple damn strategy. Look at this. 3 steps. 3 steps in this strategy you got to consist of. And stay consistent with this. And you can make profits like no other trader does. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this one. And again, the strategy consists of uptrends and downtrends, looking for previous pullbacks in the market with it being into a fair value gap, right? After the low, previous low is broken. Pretty dang simple. Oh my gosh. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And guys, hope you guys all have a great, amazing day. Peace out, guys.